Okay, perfect. Okay, welcome everybody. We acknowledge the land upon which we work and live, the First Nations and their nations, and recognize their connection to the land, water, and community. We continue to learn, listen, and grow together. Saying that, I welcome everybody, and I'll call the meeting to order, please, and approval of the agenda.
Be it hereby resolved that the agenda for the Wednesday, March 18th, 2026 regular meeting of council be adopted as printed and circulated.
Okay, can I get a mover and a second, please? Moved by Councillor Banbury, second by Councillor Young. Any comments on that? All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest? No, not seeing any. Minutes from March 4th.
Be it hereby resolved that the minutes of the March 4th, 2026 regular meeting of council be adopted as printed and circulated.
Okay, can I get a mover and a second, please? Moved by Councillor Demers, second by Councillor Barnes. Any comments? All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried. Any business arising from the minutes? Oh, I'm not seeing any. Okay, we have a public meeting. And a resolution for that, please.
Be it hereby resolved that the council rise and go into a public meeting under the Planning Act to consider an application for zone change ZN 12601, Stott Farm Limited, and that Mayor Peterson chair the public meeting.
Okay, mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Demers, second by Councillor Young. All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried. I'm officially opening this public meeting, which is being held under the Planning Act for the purpose of hearing an application for a zone change in the Township of Blandford-Blenheim. I'd like to advise those in attendance that the Ontario Land Tribunal has the power to dismiss an appeal if an appellant has not provided the council with oral submission at a public meeting or written submissions before a bylaw is passed. Pursuant to recent changes under Bill 185, appeals are now generally limited to the applicant, a registered owner, a public body, specific persons, or the minister. I'd like to ask those in attendance that if they wish to receive notification of council's decision, they should sign the sheet by the door at the rear of the room. Please include your email address to receive future correspondence. I will now ask council members to state any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. I'm not seeing any. There is one application being considered today for a zone change ZN 1-26-01 Stott Farms Limited. The application process to rezone the lands described at the northwest corner of Lot 9 and the north half of Lot 10, Concession 6 Blenheim, except Part 1 on Registered Plan 41R-6197 and Part 6 on Registered Plan 41R-2799 in the Township of Blandford-Blenheim, from the General Agricultural Zone A2 to Special Rural Residential Zone RRSP and Special General Agricultural Zone A2SP. And Dustin, if you could present that, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good afternoon, members of council, staff, and those in attendance today. The subject lands for this zone change application were also subject to a consent application in 2025 in which B-2431-1 was approved by the Oxford County Land Division Committee in May of 2025, to be precise, in order to sever a surplus farm dwelling from the rest of the farm. In this particular proposal, approximately 147 acres of agricultural land was to be severed away from the surplus farm dwelling, which would have been retained on a 0.9 acre lot. The application for zone change in front of you is a result of a condition of that consent approval. Two items are being sought here with this one application. The first is to rezone the 147 lot to be severed from A2 to an A2 special. That A2 special would restrict any new residential dwellings from being permitted. And the second would be to rezone the 0.9 acre lot to be retained from the A2 zoning to an RR special, or rural residential special. And that would have a special provision to permit a reduced lot depth from 80 meters down to 50 meters. As a result of an internal circulation to departments and an external circulation to agencies, no comments or concerns were raised, nor were any comments or concerns raised as a result of the circulation to members of the public. Staff have reviewed the application in conjunction with the consent application, and we do believe that the proposal itself complies with both the provincial planning statement and the county's official plan when considering surplus farm dwelling severances. Staff would note that we do support the reduction in the lot depth for the lot to be retained from 80 meters down to 50 meters, and the reason we support that is it does avoid unnecessary agricultural land being taken out of production just to meet that 80-meter depth. And as it is currently proposed, it would basically be encompassing the cluster as it exists today. So as I said, staff are supportive of that. The A2 special zoning that would go on the lot to be severed, I know council's heard this in the past, but just to reiterate, the purpose of that is to ensure that no new or no additional residential dwellings are permitted on there. The owner of the lot to be severed would still be allowed to have one single detached dwelling, and that single detached dwelling would of course be able to be replaced if it were ever be required. What this does is it restricts any additional dwelling from being on there, and that includes ARUs, bunkhouses, or a second single detached dwelling. So we are here to recommend approval in principle today, and what that would mean is we would bring back the amending zoning bylaw for formal passing once we've received the survey. It's my understanding the survey is already being completed, so I wouldn't imagine that it would be too far in the future that we would be bringing this back for council's consideration. And the one other item I would point out, just to ensure that there's no additional dwellings permitted on that lot to be severed, we do also require an agreement registered on title, which would be taken care of at a later date as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any planning questions from council regarding the staff report? No, I'm not seeing any. Does the applicant or agent wish to speak regarding this application? Nope, we're all good. Okay. Do I have to have that? Are there any interested parties in attendance who wish to speak to this application? No? Okay. Okay, there's been no issues raised. Any final comments or questions from council? Nope. Okay, this application will be dealt with by council at its regular meeting immediately following this public meeting, and I now officially close this public meeting. A resolution to rise, please.
Be it hereby resolved that the public meeting be adjourned and that the regular meeting of council reconvene.
Okay, could I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Barnes, second by Councillor Banbury. All in favor? And opposed, if any? And that's carried. Okay. And you have the recommendation then? Okay.
Be it hereby resolved that council approve in principle the zone change application submitted by Stott Farm Limited, file number ZN 12601, whereby the lands described as northwest quarter of Lot 9 and north half of Lot 10, Concession 6, Blenheim, except Part 1, Registered Plan 41R 6197, and Part 6 of Registered Plan 41R 2799, Township of Blandford-Blenheim, are to be rezoned from General Agricultural Zone A2 to Special Rural Residential Zone RRSP and Special General Agricultural Zone A2 SP.
Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Demers, second by Councillor Young. Any comments? All in favor? And opposed, if any? And that's carried. Okay, and that was unanimous. Thank you. Okay, we have no delegations today. Correspondence. Do you want to go ahead and read it, and then I'll ask, I guess?
Sure. Yep. Be it hereby resolved that the correspondence from the Township of Norwich be received as information, and that the Council of Blandford-Blenheim approved and endorsed the updated Safe and Well Oxford Plan at the January 14th, 2026 regular meeting of Council, and further, that Council directs staff to circulate a copy of this resolution to Oxford area municipalities for information purposes.
Okay, mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Banbury, second by Councillor Young. Anybody have any comments or questions on that? Councillor Young.
Yeah, I just wanted to provide a couple of comments. While I believe the concern raised about the term priority groups in this correspondence was intended to ensure language remained inclusive, I respectfully take a different view. In my opinion, using the term priority groups does not exclude others from accessing services, nor does it suggest that anyone is less important. Rather, it recognizes that some individuals or populations may face greater barriers, or that data shows there may be a higher level of need for supports. This approach and language is consistent with the province's framework and this plan was developed by subject matter experts to focus their efforts where they can have the greatest impact. Identifying priority groups helps planning and collaboration in a meaningful way while still supporting the well-being of the entire community.
Thank you. Anything else from council at all? Councillor Demers.
I agree with the councillor. I took a look at the definition of priority groups in the wellness plan, and I felt that that wording was appropriate in the context of the intention of the entire report. So I would not be in favor of making the changes that have been outlined by the Township of Norwich.
Anything else from council at all? Councillor Bambury.
I think it's just a superficial thing. When everybody sees priority, they think, well, that's discriminating against somebody who's not in that group. But I agree with you. It's not to me, it's not a big deal one way or the other, so.
Yeah. Anything else from council at all? Yeah, I actually had something here made, and you guys have said exactly everything of what I've said, so there's no sense me hashing it over again. I agree 100%. I think the plan is good. And I think, I don't know, I kind of look like we're trying to find something that's not there, and I think the plan we have is good, so. Okay?
All those in favor?
Yep. All in favor? And opposed, if any, and that's carried. Thank you. Okay, and we have no general and staff reports. Our Director of Protective Services, Drew, please. Welcome, Drew.
Afternoon, Mayor, members of council. I'm here to present my monthly report for February. Some key highlights there, if we remember back, our Minister of Emergency Preparedness, Joe Lumlop, attended Princeton Station. We were able to get the digital signs through the Emergency Preparedness Grant, so she was able to come out and see them in action, and we were also able to go to the new Princeton Station under construction and give them a tour as well, along with council. So that was that day turned out very well there. As part of our succession planning and with the promotion of one of our training officers up to captain at the Princeton Station, we had an opening, and I'm pleased to announce that Chris Rook, who's from the Princeton Station as well, is now one of our lead training officers. He has been on over 10 years, is part of the training committee, and naturally moved up into this position too. So it's just another sign that our succession planning is working as we move firefighters into new roles and leadership roles. So I'm excited to see Chris take on that new responsibility. To give council an update on the Princeton construction out there. They are working on the outside, dodging the snowflakes, and weather permitting, they're getting the siding on there. That's going well. Inside, on the clean side, they're hoping to be wrapped up in the next 2 weeks. The painting and installing all the millwork items like that, and working their way into the apparatus bay and the dirty side there. The white cladding has been going on in the building now, because we now finally have hydro to the building along with heat. So it had to be +10 inside the building in order to put the white cladding on inside because of the plastic material. So in a couple more weeks, it's going to look a lot different over there. We will be gradually moving items over, but there's still a top coat of asphalt to go on around the whole perimeter. And so until that happens, we won't actually move the trucks over and be in full operation there. So we're still anticipating towards the end of May that we'll be able to do the full transition over there. So between that and weather-related items that we dealt with during February, it was pretty busy, and welcome to take any questions.
Okay. Any questions on the report? Councillor Bambury.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just wondering, will there be a curb around the perimeter of the property or not?
It won't
Because
be.
there is kind of a drop-off, most on the east side and west side.
No, there won't be a curb per se. The asphalt is all sloped for drainage and everything into the catch basins, that type of idea, but there won't be a curb per se. We do have the landscape feature on the west side there, there'll be some grass, and we're hoping to put some trees and items like that there where the most significant fall off is. So there will be that divide between asphalt and that portion.
Okay.
Anything else from council? We heard anything back from Minister Dunlop or Hardeman?
Just a thank you.
But
And,
nothing about whether they can come to the,
that they
Camp
are,
85.
Minister Dunlop had indicated that she would like to come back for the camp graduation
Perfect.
item there, so I would expect to see them around, hopefully that first week of July. And with that, I should mention, we do have our information night for the camp, April 2nd, at Plattsville Station at 6:30, so the council can join us, and we have a good turnout as well. Thank you for reminding me of that, Mr. Mayor.
okay. Can you send out a invite for that or have somebody do that? Then it's,
You should already have received it, but we can do it.
okay. It might be in my calendar. I'll have to look. If it's already in there, then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, anything else? Nope. Okay, go ahead.
Be it hereby resolved that report FC 2603 be received as information.
Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Banbury, second by Councillor Young. Any comments? All in favor? And opposed, if any? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, and next, Ray, our Chief Building Official. I'll look at my calendar right now. I have it in my calendar. Thank you very much. I just looked. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Council. If I may, I'd like to provide the update for the building services for last month. We issued 5 permits, which is pretty good for February. And I'm telling you, the phone is ringing off the hook these days. I think it's going to be a busy year. Of course, if there's any questions, happy to answer them.
Any questions on the report from council? No, not seeing any. Easy night. Go ahead.
Be it hereby resolved that report CBO 2603 be received as information.
Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Young, second by Councillor Banbury. Any comments? All in favor? And opposed, if any? And that's carried. Thank you very much.
Very much.
Okay, and next, our Director of Finance, Denise. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you. This report is in regards to council remuneration. It's a provincial requirement every year. It supports our principle of transparency, accountability, and responsible governance outlined in our strategic plan. So I have reported the information there for council's information.
Okay, any questions on that at all? Nope, I'm not seeing any. Okay, go ahead.
Be it hereby resolved that report TR 2604 be received as information.
Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Barnes, second by Councillor Demrist. Any comments? Nope, all in favor? And opposed, if any? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, next, moving right along, reports from council members. Councillor Demrist.
Just wanted to mention a Career Expo that happens annually in Woodstock. It's a partnership with ROEDC, the Community Employment Services, City of Woodstock, City of Ingersoll. There's always a great turnout if you know of anybody in Oxford County that's looking for a career change. There are very many employers that aren't there, so it's a great place to go if you're taking a look for a new career. That is March 26th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So it's coming up soon.
Anything else from council at all? Just trying to think if there's, yep, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to add, the same day is the information night about council, if you're interested in, I believe that's the same day at Oxford County.
Oh,
If anyone's interested in running for the upcoming election, I think
Yeah.
it's the same night, March 26th
I
at
think
the
so.
Oxford County
Yep.
Administration Building, 6 p.m., I think.
yep. Just trying to think of anything, just the only thing, I guess, the Lions had their elimination draw a week ago, and it was very well attended. It was a very busy night, so it was very well, and the community did very well, enjoyed it as well. But I can't think of anything New, I know there's some this week
The
in
auction
March, and the
on
auction is coming up
Easter
on
weekend.
Easter weekend, yep.
Yeah.
Friday, and it's the electronic and scrap as well, and that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday of Easter weekend. I think there's some more free public skates yet this week, I believe in Plattsville, and I think they're usually from 4 to 5, most of them, or? Friday, there's one from 3 to 4, so, yep, and I think they've been fairly well attended all week, most of the time, so, okay. Nothing else from council? Nope, okay. No unfinished business, no motions, notice of motions, new business, and we'll go into closed session.
Be it hereby resolved that council move into closed session under the authority of Section 239 of the Municipal Act at 4:20 PM to discuss CAO 2610, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality, Section 239-2E, regarding legal update.
Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Demers, second by Councillor Young. All in favor? And opposed, if any, and that's carried, and we'll go into close. Okay, thank you very much, and go ahead.
Be it hereby resolved that council provided direction to staff regarding report CAO 2610.
Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Banbury, second by Councillor Young. All in favor? And opposed, if any, and that's carried. Okay, we'll go into bylaws.
Be it hereby resolved that the following bylaws be read a first and second time. A, bylaw 2539-2026, being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 1360-2002 as amended for ZN 12418. And B, bylaw 2540-2026, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council.
Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Young, second by Councillor Demarest. All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried. And third reading.
Be it hereby resolved that the following bylaws be read a third and final time. A, bylaw 2539-2026, being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw 1360-2002 as amended for ZN 12418. And B, bylaw 2540-2026, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council.
Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Barnes, second by Councillor Young. All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried. Okay, and adjournment.
Whereas business before council has been completed at 5:04 p.m., be it hereby resolved that council adjourn to meet again on Wednesday, April 1st, 2026 at 4 p.m.
Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Demarest, second by Councillor Banbury. All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried.